Devils started the season with an unbelievable run on home ice. A franchise record start, but lately, 5 straight defeats as the Anaheim Ducks came to town for a Saturday matinee. But the Devils end that losing streak, and they begin what we hope is a winning streak with a 4-1 victory over Anaheim. And they did it finding out that, well, they knew about Jack Hughes and Brett Pesce, and they knew Timo Meier was overseas with a family health issue. But they didn't necessarily know that they weren't going to play with Shimo Nemitz, but he got hurt at practice yesterday, not available. And Arseny Gritsuk didn't practice yesterday. We found out yesterday he wasn't going to play. Man, it was everybody on deck for this one.
Yeah, and, the players don't get into it like the fan. Oh, this guy's hurt, this guy. The guy says, hey, it's on me. I better get ready for this game, and so better everybody else, because we're going to need a full frontal team effort today, Matty, and they got it.
And coming off a very disappointing loss against Tampa Bay in the previous home game where they were outplayed and they were soft, which is a terrible term that any physical sport team wants to hear applied to them, but that's what they were. They weren't hard to play against. Today they were, and they win by a score of 4-1. Let's hear what one of the heroes, if you will, of today's game had to say post-game. Here's Juho Lammikko.
I'm sure it's not easy to be out of the lineup the way that you were, but to be able to come in and contribute like that, everyone's sort of on different lines. How did that sort of feel out there for you today?
Yeah, it felt good. The whole team played great today, and I think we played a really good game, defensive some and offensive too, so try to keep it going tomorrow.
What were you sort of seeing on that play to set up Nace there?
I saw him and just try to throw it there, and luckily it hit his plate.
How difficult can it be sort of to be out of the lineup and then jump in like that the way you have?
Oh, it's just try to stay ready and work hard. Today's we're not playing, and when you jump in, try to help the team best the way you can.
Juho Lammikko speaking with Amanda Stein. And, Chico, you said it during the game, and, you can say nice pass here and there, but speed kills, and the Devils had speed on display today.
Yes, and he led it because that was early in the first period. He had jump. And you say, well, why didn't he have jump before Matty? He's been mostly fourth liner. I'm just saying that he's thinking, well, am I going to get out there regular? When will I get out there? But today, when he looked at that lineup, he had Cotter and Nason, and Nason's been up on the top line. I'm going to be a prominent player, and I think that propelled him into even more speed, and he showed it on that goal.
Well, speaking of Paul Cotter, he spoke with the media in the Devils dressing room, and these are his thoughts on the win.
That's a big team win for this group who was sort of searching to find that win column again, but also just so much to rally around for this group. What do you sort of make of the way you guys played here? I mean, just above everyone and just that defensive game simplicity.
I think you said it all. That one felt good for sure. I think we got back to how we know we can play. Sometimes when you're in a stretch like that, it's not easy, but whatever happened, and we're kind of back to the way that we know that we can play, and playing with a little bit more swagger and confidence, which obviously helps. So when we play like that, tough to beat. So hopefully we can kind of mimic that tomorrow as well.
That's one of the best, if not the best team off of the Resch. You guys really held them off of that tonight or this afternoon. What sort of went into that mentality to prevent that from happening?
I think we just played together. We were all kind of on the same page, following each other, basically going off one of another. Mm-hmm. We talked a lot like, hey, we're in a tough spot right now. So we know the team that we can be. So let's try and get back to that. Let's talk, help each other. Guys are going to make mistakes, so it's just kind of matters how we clean it up. And I think we played like a team tonight, so it's good.
And just how important has that communication been, just given, most of the lines are different. Like, there's so many ins and outs here, right? Like, that has to be the key.
Yeah. There's two ways to look at it. One is, you got a bunch of injuries, and second one is, guys are getting more opportunity. So it's, I think we have a lot of depth on our team, and it's times like this where, a lot of guys are out that people can step up, and, it's unfortunate that we have guys out. We want them back, but, I'm happy for guys that get a little bit more ice time, including myself too, and but it just shows that we have an incredible amount of depth with guys that are stepping up on defense and call-ups, and I thought our fourth line was awesome. I think there's two ways to look at it.
Speaking of stepping up, when you get Jake in net and the defensive unit today holding them to a goal, that was big time.
Yeah, no, they played great. They were hard-nosed, physical, poised with the puck. They're making plays, so it was easy on us to break out. So a lot of the credit to them, and obviously Jake again, exceptional playing. So awesome on them and made our lives easy.
Well, before the game, Sheldon suggested that perhaps having the Quinn Hughes drama behind everyone might be some relief with that. Do you agree with that?
We try and stay out of all the stuff behind the scenes as much as we can, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So control, you can control and go from there. But I guess it's good that maybe some guys feel more secure. Yeah, so I don't know.
Nice after an effort like that, Cots, to know you're coming right back tomorrow afternoon as well.
Yeah, just right back at it. I think some guys like these games. You get a little bit more rest to enjoy the day and get right back at it. So excited we can go back pretty quick.
Paul Cotter now has goals in 3 straight games, and he played almost 16 and a half minutes earlier this week in Ottawa, less than 8. So guys are going to get time. It's available, and he took advantage of it.
And what does it do? If I said to you, Maddie, you're only going to do half the broadcast. Oh, okay. Maybe just one period. No, I'm just saying, but then I said, no, it's on your shoulders. You just know as human nature, that is a different mindset. And you're getting 16 minutes. You're getting a lot of ice time. And, boy, I think it inspired him as well as others to say, like he said, don't want guys to get injured, but when they do, that can mean more ice time for me. Now, we don't want long-term, but short-term, these guys stepped up, and they got the job done.
And I did not detect any distraction from the Quinn Hughes rumors that maybe the Devils will acquire him and the brothers will be united, so on and so forth. But if the Devils were going to get him, and Minnesota did, somebody, maybe more than somebodies are going to move, right? They're going to have to go in the deal, and somebody's going to lose some ice time. And, it's got to be there a little bit, just a little bit.
Well, you know what? I think it would be as the season went on. It was a shock yesterday. So even Jimmy Rutherford said we had to do something quickly. I don't think anyone saw this coming, so they weren't, that thinking about it. But even, it's kind of like, you start close to the trading deadline, Matty, and if the team's struggling, as a player, you think, they might do something, and I just hope I'm not part of it because I love it here. But you're right. I don't think that was I would never give a player an excuse. I mean, a chance to use that as an excuse. That'd be ridiculous.
Devils didn't use the absences as an excuse today.
No.
And they were playing shorthanded, and I mean in terms of a regular lineup. They had a full 18 skaters and 2 goalies who suited up today.
Exactly.
But no Jack Hughes and no Brett Pesce and on and on and on. Arseny Gritsuk and Shimo Nemitz added to that list yesterday and today. So the Devils take the ice against the Anaheim Ducks, a team flying young, playing with not a care in the world. But today they played like it early, and Devils stayed with them shift for shift, but then there was a little bit of a breakdown and a Ducks lead. Here's Andre Plot in the corner, looks for Brown. He's tied up on the play by Terry. Puck kept alive by the Devils. Good work by Brown. Here's Glass, drops it off to Brown, loses an edge far side, and now Carlson gets it ahead to Terry. He moves in all alone with a shot, and he scores. Puts it off the post, and Anaheim has taken a 1-0 lead. Troy Terry coming up with his 10th goal of the season, and just something simple like that. A player loses an edge. This game's so quick, it turns around.
That's exactly what happened, Matty. And now we're all wondering, okay, they get scored on first, the Devils, right? They're playing a pretty darn good offensive team over there. What's going to be the response?
Well, the response initially was a very good following shift, right?
Yes.
Lammikko, Cotter, and Nason out there. They stopped some of the momentum that Anaheim was starting to build. But more than that, they had a scoring opportunity, which I think probably lit everybody up like, okay, let's go. We can duplicate that, meaning the guys who were watching that unfold.
Agreed. That's exactly what was going on.
Well, that was their first shift after the goal was scored. When they got back out on the ice, less than 3 minutes after Anaheim had taken the lead, that line helped tie it up. Troy Terry looks to center. It's picked off nicely by Nico Hischier. The pass was intended for Carlson. Now here's Dawson Mercer driving it in deep. Hischier behind the net. Double teamed, and it's Trouba coming over, picking it up and giving it to Terry. Moves to center ice with Chris Kreider. Dumps it in deep. Hamilton goes back. Kreider checks him into the wall, but Brad in support picks up the puck. Under 4 minutes to go in the first period. Here's Lamico burst to speed. Gets past Gudas. Behind the net. Centers. And they score. It's Stefan Nason tying the game at 1. What a play by Juho Lamico. Yeah, using that speed, setting up Nason for his second goal of the season. First in 22 games. Really good to see Stefan score. Let's check in with the head coach as he addresses the media.
Had great effort. With great effort, you get better structure. With better structure, you're taking care of each other out there. It's an easier game for everybody involved, including the goaltender. So, real good team win, and good to see some guys step up and score some goals for us. But it's on the backs of real sound team effort.
You mentioned, the goaltending, Jake, how big was he today, and also, just giving up one goal and having that defensive.
Yeah, Jake was great. But like I said, the team, I don't know, they gave up a breakaway, but other than that, I don't know that there was one scoring chance where I went, oh man, this is dangerous. The team took care of Jake today, and Jake took care of us as a result. That's kind of the way this goes. And it's not just for him, it's for everyone else. Like, I look at so many guys that had great games today. When you play a sound, structured, hard game like that, everybody gets better. And that's exactly what happened here today. I thought every guy on the ice was better today than they were in the previous game. And better, in some cases, better than they've been for quite a while. And that's what a good team effort can do. That's what you're striving for. Today is it's a real good example of that. And we don't have to wait too long to do it again. So it's right there. The model's right there. There's no magic recipe or speech or anything like that. It's the players making the decision that that's what it's going to look like, and accepting that that's the effort. When you do that, everybody benefits.
You talk about that effort and sort of like accepting what the game has to be. How much is that is the defensive side of the puck that everyone? For me, it was probably one of the best defensive performances that we've seen this year.
Yeah, it's all the defensive part of it. And then when you're good defensively, you get better offensively. Like, that's the way it works. Like, you look at how many of our goals today came out of us, winning battles defensively, and then, going on offense from there. The first and third goals, I think, for me, are a big part of that. One's coming out of D-zone and doing a job and breaking out, and Lamico, unbelievable job driving it down the ice. Second goal is second period process. It's, we talk about all the time, and it's just one shift after another, just kind of wearing the team down enough, and then good line change, hand it over to the next guy, and Pally comes out hard and competitive, wins a battle, makes a play, Glasser finishes it. Like, that's the team and the individuals taking care of one another. And as I told them, when you play like that, you can beat anyone, anytime, and under any circumstances.
I remember when you decided to take Lamico out of the lineup previously. You said, it wasn't necessarily because of the way he was playing. It was just a numbers game that you were playing with. But to see him be out for as much as he was, to come back and jump in that way.
Yeah, his game was trending really well. Yeah. And I think that and the confidence that he kept in himself through not playing, but also you can see what a little bit of fresh legs does at a time when, the schedule and when everything's been so hard. I thought he was outstanding today in all three zones. And that speed that he showed, to drive that puck down and make a play, like, that's what we need from him. And I thought he was really trending that way. As I said, that's why we didn't love taking him out at the time that we did, because I thought in terms of what he can bring for our team, I thought he was trending in positive direction. Really happy that he just stayed with it, kept a real good attitude through it all, waited for his opportunity, and made a difference today.
Sheldon, what in your mind is the key to just, bottling this and sustaining it, even with the injuries that you guys are dealing with right now?
I mean, so much of it is just a clear understanding and embracing that it's hard, and just take care of yourself and do it again. Pull together as a team, this is on the players here today. It's they made the decision, and we had a good hard practice yesterday for the guys that skated, and all of that. But it's the players, deciding, hey, this is what we're gonna do today. And then when they do that, the structure, all the things that the coaches are talking about, all that comes together, and that's. In the NHL, it gives you a chance to win. That's why sometimes we'll play games against teams. You're like, man, they should be winning this game. What's going on? Well, the other team, that's what they're doing. Is pulling together and overcoming some circumstances. And, this was probably as clean a game as we played all season for me in lots of regards. But it's not unlike, we went into Washington right after we lost Jack, and we had 8 guys out in that game and playing on the road against one of the top teams in the league. And found ways to get 2 points. Like this team's capable of that. We just gotta keep reminding them of it, and they gotta learn to enjoy these types of results on the back of such great efforts.
Cotter scored 3 in 3 games now. Is he a guy who just needs to move up in the lineup to just maybe untap that offensive potential?
I mean, I think he's good right where he is. I think he has the potential to go up and complement guys because he can skate and can make a play, and he's going to be great defensively. He's got great potential. I don't know that I look at him as more as a driver. Sort of in that middle 6 for you and help you on special teams. But I know he has great belief in himself. I coached against Connor Brown in the OHL and in junior hockey, and he was a dominant offensive player, and then I coached him in the American League, and he did a lot of the same. In the NHL, it's been a little bit harder for him to find his way that way, but he's in a good place, and if you move him up, he's got the confidence to do well with it, but also I think he has a real true understanding of who he is and how he best helps the team.
Sheldon, is it a coincidence you have a game like this the day after the Quinn Hughes drama is over, or is there some sense that perhaps that might have been weighing on the team?
I mean, I think it's coincidence. I think it just also comes, right after we got our ass kicked just a couple of days ago in this building. That said, there's been a lot of noise about that, and I think that as much as we don't talk about it, the players I don't think talk about it. I think we'd probably be silly to think that that it doesn't impact any of the players that may have felt that they may have been associated with such a thing, whether true or not. In many cases, very untrue. It does impact the group, especially at a time when you're trying to rally the group. It's another thing that you got to try to overcome.
How important was it to get the fans a win in this building again?
I think that's a big one. We want to get our game right. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to. Usually you're here. I'm trying to throw off here. Relocation. Okay. I think it is important. I actually like the question a lot because we haven't played and earned a great response from our fans, and I think there's a little impatience there, and it's hard to overcome that. Once your fans start booing you, it's pretty hard. It's pretty tough emotionally to overcome that inside a game. But I saw today how quickly the fans are able to recognize great effort, sound team play, guys competing, and then you can see them coming. And then now they're a real factor. They give life to the team and to the game. And that can't be understated how important that is at a time when we need everything. We need every little bit that we can get from every player, and when we're in this building, from our fans. I love the question because I felt that in the game today. I think there was a time in the first period I could really feel for the first time in a while that we had earned the fans a positive response from the fans in the play. I think it started to be a "Let's go Devils" type of chant type of thing, and that goes a long way for a team that's trying to find a little bit more at a time when, we got lots of injuries. We haven't been playing great. The schedule's been very, very difficult. A little extra boost goes a long way, so that was great, and we're going to need more of that tomorrow.
And it was a much better day for the PK today. What were you seeing out of them?
As I've said before, like when the power plays, like when you're struggling on offense and then you get a power play, to think the power play is just going to go out and all of a sudden be great is probably tough. You're having a tough night when you're competing hard and you're giving second and third efforts at 5-on-5 and you get a penalty kill. That's going to translate over as well, and it's all the same. The guys were very, very determined today. Penalty kill oftentimes because you're shorthanded is about second and third efforts. There's going to be mistakes and there's going to be plays made. It's the recoveries and how you get back. I thought the way that we got back in lanes, got a stick on a puck, defended the net front, not let them get the real dangerous slot shots, nothing backdoor, all of that really was great. And when you do that, your penalty kill's going to have a good night.
Coach, we're encouraged by Nason's contributions tonight.
Yeah, I thought Nason was good. I thought that line was very good. I thought Cotter was very good. We already talked about Lamico, so yeah, those guys gave us great shifts. I thought all four lines gave us really good shifts here today. I thought the Glendenning line had good legs. XP and Crookshank, those guys they're skaters and they're on the puck, and I think that's helped us at a time like this. We can get a couple more drivers to bring the puck up the ice. So yeah, great team win. Great to see Nace get a goal. That goes a long way. Thanks.
Sheldon Keefe concluding his post-game news conference. You could feel the relief in his voice, and you could hear it when he said, "This is it. This is what we've been talking about. Play this kind of a game, and it will serve you well." And that'll make video review tomorrow morning pretty nice.
Oh, it will be. There'll be a lot of positives. And then the question is, why don't you do that every game, right? Why don't players? That's what I want to know. But you and I talked before the game, Maddie. We said this type of game is the only way they could win, and I think they knew it too. There were no variables, like we could outscore them, or we could fall behind and we'll catch up, or whatever. Or we could just play 2 periods and then really collapse 1 period and we'll beat them. They got the message that the coaches have been giving them, but it's not the coaches they weren't listening to, or they are. It was their brains and each other. This is what we need to do to survive, and I need you. We were talking to Stefan Nason. It's a line, Maddie. It's not 2 guys, 3 guys. On defense, 2 guys. It's a pairing. So it all came together today, and it was wonderful.
Back to the highlights we go, and we will hear from Jake Allen before we say goodbye. Devils tied the game up on Nason's goal at 16:09 of the first. Into the second we would go, and that line that had some speed, some jam, had some goal-scoring touch as well. Puck to the blue line, kept alive by the Devils. Now it rolls free. Lamico on his man, gets the puck into the Anaheim zone. Here's Cotter. Now for Lamico behind the net. Back to Cotter it goes. Cotter in the corner. Checked by Gudis. Works it free to Lamico behind the net. Now to Cotter in the right wing corner. Out high for Colton White with a wrist shot. That's it. It's loose and they score! It's 3 for 3 for Paul Cotter. 3 games, 3 goals. It's 2-1. The man is hot. 552, his 5th overall. As Lamico and Nason picked up the assist, that line was cooking.
You're right, Maddie. And the easiest part of that play was him putting it in the net. But as you were saying, and I watched, he and Lamico have got to win the puck battle. And they'd go back and forth. They made about at least 2 passes to each other down low. And that confused the Anaheim defenders. Then he throws it to the point. And the Anaheim defender, who's kind of scrambled in the corner, he rushes to the front of the net, but Cotter just goes behind him very slowly, so he's open, puck comes to him, and he punched it home.
Devils take a 2-1 lead. Then they had to face an Anaheim power play that went 0 for 3 today. Devils on the PK had been struggling as of late, and you know the numbers, just 2 for their last 9, giving up 7 goals while shorthanded over their last 4 games. But not this afternoon as they stood strong. The best penalty killer has to be your goalie, and that's Jake Allen. Zellweger out high for Carlson. A lot of perimeter work here. Zellweger, watched by Brown, gives it to Carlson. Down low it goes. Backhand try by Kreider, loose in the crease. Saved by Allen. Puck loose down behind the net. That was Terry on the jam try. And that was Jake Allen once again playing well as he picked up the third star of the game as he recorded his 9th win of the season. So we continue in the second period and an all-important 2-goal lead courtesy of Cody Glass. Up for Seneca, swept off his stick at the blue line, dumped in by Radko Gudas.
See that flip out? See how smart that was by Siegenthaler in the corner? Had no play, so he flipped it out to center.
Smart, stay alive.
Exactly.
Try to force it. It backfires. Here's Palat. Finds a man in the slump. They score! Cody Glass wide open. And the Devils have taken a 2-goal lead. 17:04 the time of the goal. A late second period goal for Cody Glass. That was his 6th goal of the season. And his hot streak continues now. 2 goals in his last 3 games. And that gave the Devils some breathing room, although Anaheim outshot the Devils 14-5 in the third. They made a push, didn't they?
Well, they did, but that goal, Matty, so it's behind. If you're looking at the net, the puck's on the right side. Cody Glass is sliding in off the right post. So he gets the puck, and here's what I'm saying. It's just not a shot that went through the goal. Yeah, he was lucky. He waited, and the stall pushed off the post too far, shot it back short side, and beat him over the glove. I don't know if Cody Glass was computing all that, but it was a brilliant shot. And, Matty, sometimes you get lucky goals, but sometimes you really do a great job of accuracy when you shoot the puck.
So some good things happening offensively this week for the Devils. As Glass scores a goal, Nason gets off a schneid. Cotter starts to get hot. Luke Hughes had gotten off a schneid. Jesper Bratt scored against Tampa Bay. Yeah, it was an 8-4 loss, but he needs to get going in terms of scoring some goals.
Well, what did we talk about? Secondary scoring? How does that work the last couple wins?
Well, they gotten it, and they've been able to pick 2 wins up in their last 3 games, and a little bit of a lemon on Thursday. At any rate, the Devils not only protect that lead, they would extend that lead on an empty net goal by Connor Brown to make it a 4-1 final score. But the star, from our perspective, offensively it was good and the line stood out. But you got to give a lot of credit to Jake Allen. Helped by his teammates, no question about it. But in the end, he's got to do the work. We're going to call this the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner.
Okay, my question, though, is Matthew.
Yes.
The Wild are playing at home? Quinn Hughes part of it?
No.
He's not. Okay, he's not in the lineup. I didn't know because you said those 3 guys from Vancouver are here.
Right. Practicing, and they'll presumably, Rossi's been hurt, but presumably they'll be in the lineup tomorrow. Here's a drive, save, rebound, another save by Allen. Seneca was right on the doorstep. And Jake Allen was there to make the stop. The play of the game brought to you by Prudential. It's just very rude of them to interrupt our discussion about who may be in the lineup tomorrow when the Devils take on Vancouver. But good on Jake, and I presume tomorrow it'll be Jacob Markstrom.
Oh, definitely, Matty. And, that did kind of sum it up. You know what? Anaheim couldn't interrupt the Devils' play. I know that's stretching it, but they tried to. They tried to interrupt it with some goals I don't even think they played that hard physically. But they weren't interrupting the Devils, and that is why the Devils win this one. I won't say easily, but convincingly.
And Jake Allen was pulled aside by Rachel Herzog for an interview at center ice following the game, and let's hear what he had to say.
Nice bounce-back effort, and he's standing by with our Rachel Herzog.
Jaker, first of all, congratulations on a big win here today. Despite the injuries that continue to pile up for your group, what can you say about the team's ability to dig deep and really compete hard from start to finish today?
Yeah, obviously it's unfortunate we're losing some bodies, but I know guys stepped up tonight and did a great job, and obviously none of us were satisfied with what happened last year on a home ice in front of our fans, so we wanted to make sure that, we turn it around quick, and, we have a good opportunity here to come back and get another win tomorrow, so it was a big game for us.
Anaheim has one of the most prolific prolific offenses in the league right now. What can you say about the group in front of you tonight, really digging in the defensive zone to make sure your sight lines were clear today?
Yeah, it was, I'd say from my vantage point, it's probably the best defensive game we played in the last, I'd say, 10 or 12 games, and we really needed that tonight. Obviously, they have a high-powered team over there, and you got to give a lot of credit to that group. They gave them no time and space. They played hard, and it was good to watch.
You alluded to it a little bit. A quick turnaround, back at it tomorrow. When the team's really trying to find some consistency in your game, what do you hope to see carry over against Vancouver?
I think just right now the recipe for success was our game plan for today. It was straightforward. We held on to pucks. We made most of our chances. We never shot ourselves in the foot. We need to do that tomorrow, especially when you're down quite a few bodies. So it was good for the guys.
And an excellent performance from you today. Congrats on the big win, Jake.
Jake Allen hearing the cheers from the big crowd here at The Rock. We want to thank our friends at MSG Networks for allowing us to bring that interview conducted by Rachel Herzog with the number one star of the game, Jake Allen. And now Jacob Markstrom needs this kind of effort in front of him tomorrow, too.
He does. But here's the interesting thing about tomorrow, Matty. Who's going to have the strongest mental preparation? They made a big trade in Vancouver. Now, they got some good, just like us, they've got some good players. Or not, Quinn's gone. But will they be fired up more than New Jersey? You know what I mean? I'm looking at, this is what we got to do. But what are they going to come with? And so tune in tomorrow because it's going to be one of the most interesting games we've had all year, I think, because it's a lot of changes. Both teams, Devils played one of their best, as the coach said, of the year. I think Vancouver's relieved, Matty, that Quinn thing Hughes is done with. They don't have to deal with that. So to me, it's going to be a really fascinating game tomorrow at 12:30.
Another matinee for the New Jersey Devils. It's a game that you will hear here on the Devils Hockey Network.